Dan and I both had the chance also to sit down and talk with Intel CEO Pat Gelsinger right after the call. And I'm going to hit those insights later, but net, Intel beat on revenue, they beat on gross margin, and they beat on EPS. It was really a trifecta, and their stock, was going crazy. Now, I think it was a very conservative forecast last quarter, which I applaud Intel for doing. You don't want to be flexing, particularly in an area of high risk in the PC industry, where inventory is bleeding off, and then the uncertainty of the CSP re-up out there, and the competition, right? For the fourth or fifth quarter in a row in the data center side, Intel acknowledged competitive pressures in their slide deck. But I want to hit some of the highlights, though. The thing that really gets me, and hopefully I've been crystal clear on this, first thing I look for, I want to know the status of 5 nodes in 4 years. Why is that important? Because it's all about IFS, their foundry business. If Intel doesn't have a successful foundry business, they're not going to have the scale, and therefore they're going to have higher costs and not compete as well with AMD and NVIDIA and Qualcomm. So it's the first thing I looked at. Pat Gelsinger was all thumbs up, and in fact, I think he called that transistor a work of art. Is that what he called it? A Picasso or a Michelangelo. Pat was very proud of that.
He doesn't call it anything else.
I mean, it was cool. I mean, you could tell how proud and how stoked he was for it. So I was
feeling it.
Feeling the positive vibes from his positive vibes. The other thing that went a little unnoticed, maybe they brought it up on the call, I don't know, is in the Pat G press release, he talked about new customers for IFS. And I might butcher that, but I think he said 3 new wafer customers and 2 packaging customers just this quarter. Now, I want to know who they are. You want to know who they are. I have no idea who they are. I need to do some back of the envelope because I've seen Qualcomm commit to TSMC. I've seen AMD and NVIDIA commit to TSMC. So I'm kind of scratching my head. Is it MediaTek? Is it, I'm pretty sure AWS is a packaging customer for some of their own custom silicon. But we'll have to see. I don't trade in rumors, but I would like to know just to see how big
we don't trade at all
of a deal it is.
Just to be clear.
No, I in fact, any company that I have an NDA with, I do not trade in their stocks.
Just want to make sure that's on the record.
I appreciate that.
But yeah, it was good to talk to Pat. We had a week between F1 of seeing quite a few people. We saw the head of IFS, Stupan, which probably felt pretty good about himself given their near 300% growth. And yes, it's a small...
You had a big smile on his face, didn't he?
It's a smaller part of the business, but I've said this for a long time, Pat. I think foundry, but people that don't understand policy and the macro economy, they don't understand the importance of the U.S. being more prevalent and capable.
Yeah.
And Intel's really the only company that's U.S. based that has the capacity to step up to scale at the leading edge.
Yeah.
They're the only one.
Yes.
And so is it happening fast enough? It'll never be fast enough. But that growth is good. Packaging, wafer wins. You could tell Pat's feeling it there. The Mobileye business continues to be rock solid. And it gives some encouragement for what they're doing with the PSG business as they spin it off, is that they've got this kind of, we spin you off, we let you go public, you control this, we control most of this stock, but we let the shareholders get the value. And of course, Intel gets the value as that grows.
Right.
So some good financial engineering there.
What was his response to the Qualcomm stuff? I don't know if you're going to hit that or not.
Yeah, so I'll end there. But I want to see year-over-year growth. We're still not getting it. I mean, we did get beatings on expectations. Bar wasn't super high, but you know what? He's executing. You know what? That's what the market wants to see.
That's right.
But I did ask him about the Qualcomm Snapdragon PCs, and you know what? He really didn't argue the quality. What he argued is they're basically telling a story about a product that will ship sometime next year.
Yeah.
And when it starts to ship, you're talking hundreds of thousands of units.
Yeah.
And yes, what they're committing to the market is higher performant than what they have in market today. But what he's kind of saying is, look, we have in-market products with X amount of tops, 10 tops. We're shipping these things today. We're ramping them up. We're going to have millions and millions and millions of units that will have shipped by the time this new stuff has even shipped. And by the way, by the time the new stuff is shipped, we're going to be on to next generation technology that's going to be higher performance, lower power. And by the way, that's the problem with this whole benchmarking game. It's always leapfrog. Like you said, by next Monday, we may see a completely new, competitive landscape
Yeah.
when Apple's emergency event comes out, and who knows what other announcements are going to get made. So
Right.
overall, though, Pat, I mean, I think it's an encouraging moment for Intel. It's good to see Pat in good spirits. It's good to see Intel. Successful Intel is good for the world. It is
Right.
good for the world because with the supply chain, with semiconductors, with innovation, with what's going on, the tensions around the world, we need more than one strong foundry at the leading edge. We just do.
Yeah, and in fact, we're even regionalized now.
Yeah.
In that, it's no longer a global game.